All, Mr. D.
That's it.
That's it. Okay, great.
Thank you,
Thanks.
President Winter.
Thanks. Item 7, month-end close report. Mr. O'Toole.
Thank you. The first two items, 7.01 is the enrollment summary and 7.02 is the investment summary. Those are just informational. Are there any questions related to either one of these?
Do we think that the enrollment summary is now a year-to-year comparison? I know August is a little questionable for numbers, but if
So
this
what-
is solid, we are trending extremely positive for
Yeah.
outside charter schools.
We're working on having an ADM report, but I knew that question was coming. So we are trending about 43 students less for outside charter schools than we have over the last 5 years.
Great.
That doesn't include Keola. But as you're talking about outside charters, that's brick and mortar as well as cyber. Again, we're trending about 43 students less.
A substantial savings.
So move in the right direction.
Moving
Sure.
on back to our district, which is the positive there.
Yeah.
Do we have any ideas to why this change is transpiring? Is it what we're doing, or is it just in spite of what we're doing?
I don't know that definitively, but looking at our Keola numbers, I would imagine that part of that is us having our own cyber program is playing a role in that.
And I would add that definitively it is playing a role. Investments that we made last year in a cyber guidance counselor and a cyber special education teacher sort of oversee and coordinate that, which have extended into this year as well. With an administrative director of the program and a consistent cyber guidance counselor. We have seen anecdotally a couple of families that we can definitively say we have brought back from outside cyber, those services.
So are you saying that our total cyber number hasn't changed? It's just a shift from outside to Aola, or are we also down on total cyber?
Down in total cyber as well. And so we make the same push to bring them from MTSD cyber back into the brick and mortar because we can provide more services when we have them live and in front of us. But certainly, again, if it's not going to be in person, then that's why we have a cyber program. But yes, the cyber numbers are lower because we brought a lot of students back into our buildings.
To be more concrete with that is our charter school enrollment, not cyber charter, but just total charter, brick and mortar and cyber is down 43. And that's an average daily membership, not as of a point in time. And then the same, if we're looking at our Keola program, we're looking to be down about 150, 160 compared to prior year. The 2 prior years. So overall, cyber is down entirely.
Just one more comment about enrollment. Just as a point, as we're getting ready for budget and so forth, when you take a look at the numbers, for example, at our elementary schools, we have 536, 567, 396, 670, and 511 as an example. You know, we really have some difference in numbers. And so when it comes time for budget and so forth, we may need to make consideration related to personnel in those areas. The same thing is true at the middle school level. We have 402, 464, and 536. Those are some pretty big discrepancies in numbers.
Any other questions? Okay, here none, the next couple items are gonna require an action. 7.03 are student activity counts, 7.04 budget transfers. 7.05 is bond summary reports with change orders. 7.06, you'll see the treasurer's reports for the last several months. And 7.07 is the financial reports for June 30th as well as September of this current fiscal year.
Could I have a motion for 7.03, 7.04, 7.05, 7.06, and 7.07?
Motion?
Have a
Second.
second? Second, thank you. Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, nay. Motion passes. Okay, moving on to item 8, financial operations agreement, Mr. Lindner.
We have 16 items this evening. All these came through committee at the beginning of the month. I'm going to bring them to the board in 3 blocks. So 8.01 is food service equipment bid for Asbury Elementary. 8.02 is the controls bid for Asbury Elementary. 8.03 is the electrical bid for Asbury Elementary. 8.04 is the general bid for Asbury. 8.05 is the HVAC bid for Asbury. 8.06 is the plumbing bid for Asbury. And 8.08 is the roofing quote for Asbury. I'd like to bring those forward as a motion.
So it's 8.01 through 8.06 plus 8.08.
Correct.
Okay, we have a motion. Can I have a second?
Second,
A discussion.
yes, 8.02, the controlled bid. Could you explain to me what that is? It's a company from Tonawanda, New York, from Buffalo, or is that like they're the general for the project?
No, they just do the controls portion for the HVAC control. So they do the building automation system, run all the control wiring, and then they do all the programming. So we have the ability to see all of the equipment across the entire school district, every room, what temperature within half a degree. So we bid that separate. That's a little different than what most projects will do. We actually do it separate to get a better number. Typically that number is embedded in the HVAC contract, but we do it separate. I think we get a better product that way. We've used them for all the projects. So it's,
Okay, that explains it. Thank you.
Yeah. and then I will mention, I did look up I did get a roof number for you.
Yeah.
To put a new roof, 30-year EPDM roof, was $2,277,500.
Versus where we were at for that recoding was around 800.
Yeah, 829,782.
So we got triple the cost for a new roof, basically.
Yeah, for an extra only 10 years.
Okay, thank you for checking that. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you, Ms. Geller. Any other discussion?
Comment. I know Mr. Gallagher talks about the controls. We use the same controls in every single one of our buildings to make sure that we were not managing 10 different systems.
Yes.
So that's the other reason that we pull the controls out, is for uniformity across all buildings. Prior to this, we had a different system in every building, which Mr. Gallagher and his team had to attempt to manage.
Yes.
And it's unrealistic to manage that many different systems.
Yes. And we do check all of their numbers. They actually, I require them to give me a breakdown of how many control points they have based on how much equipment. So they prove out all of those numbers. And actually, if you notice, they were actually under budget this time. So.
Any other discussion? Okay, we had a motion. Second, we've had discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, nay. Motion passes.
Ms. Sitter, I apologize. I'm going to jump around a little bit here. 8.07 is the alarm agreement addendum with the Wilkins Company. 8.09 is the consolidated federal grants agreement. 8.10 is the Mill Creek Community Band Facility Use Contract. 8.11 is the Mill Creek Education Foundation Grant Awards. 8.12 is the donation to Mill Creek Township from Erie's Magnetics. 8.13 is the student activity officers for McDowell, MIHS, JS Wilson, Walnut Creek, and Westlake. 8.15 is counsel for the tax assessment appeals. And 8.16 is the accounts payable. I'd like to make a motion to bring forward 8.07, 8.09 through 8.13 plus 8.15 and 8.16.
Okay, we have a motion. Can I have a second, please?
Second,
Any discussion on any of those items?
yes, on accounts payable, page 21, I have 3 questions. There is a $21,000 school tax refund to Mill Creek Community Hospital. I'm wondering what that's about. I would assume that Mill Creek Community Hospital has a pilot on the taxes. I'm just wondering why we refunded them 21,000.
They tore down part of the hospital and they're rebuilding it.
Perfect answer. Okay, understand. Thank you. The next one is the National Church of, and it looks like it's abbreviated residents, National Church Residents, 61,000.
They had a reduction in assessed value.
And what is the National Church? What is that?
They're specific. And I know that we work because they are very different compared to most. Do you remember what that is?
I don't remember which specific property that was, but the National Church Residence is a provider of housing in various developments throughout the nation. I mean, there's multiple locations throughout the region
And so they must have,
and an assessment appeal,
And they want
reduction in value.
okay. And then just one more question on Michael Esper, meal advance, $2,800.32 times two. What is Michael eating for $2,800?
That would be for multiple team, or it could have been through for water polo or swimming. I don't remember which one, but he's a coach. And essentially what we're really trying to pivot towards is be more reimbursement in these, for these playoffs or whatever activity it might be as compared to providing the funds up front. So like we did provide this up front to him, but our credit card keeps getting stolen, probably stolen once every other week. So we're trying to find alternative solutions. So most of this, you're gonna probably see us doing a lot more expense reimbursements related to these if our coaches can handle that.
Okay.
He is the boys and girls water polo coach, so he would have both teams going with him wherever they go, and they travel across the state because there's not many teams around here.
I'll have to hitch along with them. It sounds like they eat well. Thank you.
That is right. Just as a clarifying statement to that is, it is regulated in how much we reimburse per meal. So it's not like they're out having steak and lobster.
No Ruth Chris's?
No.
Okay.
And maybe the boosters can pay for it and get reimbursed from the district.
There you go. All right. Thank you for
Okay.
those answers. That's-
Any other discussion? Okay, we have a motion. We have a second on those number of items. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against nay. Motion passes.